the school secretary through the school secretary. You've been trying to do your direct calls. You've been trying to get the school principal on the line. You've been trying to pitch your services, and you have not had any success. That's what we're going to talk about today. So today we have a special guest who is going to join us. You will be able to ask questions, but you'll also be able to hear the insights of you'll be able to hear the insights of an actual school secretary who's been a school secretary for nearly 20 years. She is friends with other school secretaries. She's the head principal secretary. She's worked at the high school. She's worked at the middle school. So you'll be able to get a fresh new perspective. And you'll also be able to ask questions. So if you have questions, put them in the chat because we're also going to have questions answered. One of the things that I see that happens with consultants is that we will create the product, we will do the writing, we will do the typing. Oh, wait, she's on the wrong device. Okay. She's trying to get in, folks. She's trying to get in. Uh, let's see. She's trying to get in. So you will do all the things. You'll do the task. You will create the package, refine the package, come up with pricing, but then you have a hard time making sales. And you have a hard time making sales because you have to talk to the decision maker. It is very important to speak with the decision maker. Teachers cannot make decisions over what POs or purchase orders will be paid. You have to speak to the person who is going to sign the PO and approve the PO. And so typically that is someone in a leadership role. Now, at times there are teachers who can make recommendations for what support they need, and that is good. And for they will then still have to send it to a decision maker. So what do we need to do as consultants, folks? We got to get on the phone with decision makers. We got to get in the room with decision makers. We got to talk with decision makers. That's how you close contracts. Let's see, she's having a problem getting on. Okay. And so one of the, like, we will say that we can't close contracts or I haven't made any money. How many decision makers have you actually spoken to? How many times have you pitched your services? And how often do you talk about your services? Those are the main three things that I talk to people about. I want you to understand that if people don't know where you are, they're not able to buy from you. Period. They're not able to purchase from you. They're not able to help you. They're not able to do anything because they don't know who you are or where to find you or what it is you do. Talking to teachers is not going to be the answer. Let's see. I'm trying to get her in. I see she's showing up, but it's not letting her in. So let's give her a minute to work through it. Maybe she needs to, let's see. Okay. So bear with us, people. It's going to be worth your wait. So put us some questions in the chat and I can begin to answer your questions. Okay. So let's see. Who is this? Hey, Sidra. Hey, she says, so excited about today, ready to get all the tea. That's right. So if you know people right now who are consultants, who are people who create their own income, send this to them. Send them a link. Call them right now. Tell them to join us. I prefer you join us on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hop over to YouTube. Join us. Join us on YouTube so that I can answer your questions because she's definitely going to share some things that you may not have thought about. And I might also add that she did a presentation or she was on a panel at one of my live events. And the information that she shared and the advice that she gave immediately helped some people to close contracts because you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times we think that, because we work in a school with the school secretary, that we understand the secretary. Let me tell you, most of the time you're in your classroom doing your work and the secretary is doing her work. And so just like the secretary only sees you in passing in what it is that you do, they don't really understand your job. Just like a secretary couldn't come into your classroom and teach your classroom and do it flawlessly, you wouldn't be able to go to the secretary's desk and do her work flawlessly either. So we want to get a better understanding of what it is that needs to happen in order for you to get your call through. And so put your questions in the chat real quick so we can gear up early. She's trying to get on. I don't know what's happening. She just sent me a message on my cell phone, and she may have to create an account to join, but she should be able to get on in just a second. But put your questions in the chat if you have a question. One of the things that I will tell you before she even gets on, the first thing I'm gonna tell you before she even comes on, a lot of times the thing that stops us is our level of confidence. We call asking for permission when you should be calling making a request. Yeah, let that sink in. Think about what happens when you call the school. When you call a school, you have this product, you know the neighboring school may be interested in it. You need to talk to, oh, give me a second. Oh, she's on here. Okay, I can see her now. I can see her now. I'm gonna give her a minute to get her computer set up. It looks like she is getting her camera and stuff right. So if you're on, if you can hear me, I can see you, and I'm gonna bring you on as soon as you get your focus right. Okay, so she's here. So let me tell you about this confidence thing. You'll call the school secretary. You'll call the secretary or the school. You already know who's going to answer the call. You already know. So you're calling the school. They're going to say Johnson Elementary. And then what are you going to say? Right now, I want you to think in your head. What are you going to say? You dial the number. It rang. Johnson Elementary. What are you going to say? More than likely, you're going to say, may I speak to Mr. or Mrs. Green, whatever the principal's name is. And then the secretary is going to say, one second, she's sending me a message. Wait a minute. Okay, one second. Y'all know I can't do two things at one time. And I'm an awesome typer. I just can't type and talk. So I am an awesome typer, but I can't type and talk. So back to my question. So then you're going to say, may I speak to Mr. or Mrs. Green? Well, whoever the person is. She's going to say, he's not available right now. May I ask who's calling? What are you going to say? I want you to tell us what you're going to say. Can you put it in the chat for us? Put it in the chat for us what it is that what you're going to say when they say he's not available right now, she's not available right now. Who may I tell him or her is calling? What are you going to say? Come on, get it together. Put it in the chat. Folks, put it in the chat for me. Tell me what you're going to say. This is how this is going to work. This is going to be interactive because we're going to fix some of these issues right now. So what are you going to say? Put it in the chat. 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 Ring, ring, ring. Johnson Elementary. Hi, may I speak to Miss Green, the principal? Miss Green is not available right now. She's doing classroom observations. May I ask who's calling? What are you going to say? What are you putting in the chat? What are you going to say? What are you going to respond with? What are you going to respond with? And let's see if we can bring her in as you all are putting that in the chat. Let's see. Oh, her screen is black. Let's see. Hopefully she is not having a technical issue, but her screen is showing a little black right now. Okay, so as she's coming in and figuring that out, good morning, Dr. LaShawn. Good morning. Good morning. So I want y'all to be putting in this chat, what are you going to say when they say he's not available right now? She's not available right now. Sharonda, if you can hear me, we can see your screen. We need to be able to see you. So turn your camera around so we can see you. And can you say something so we can see?
I don't know why I'm
Oh, we
backwards.
can hear you. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know why I'm backwards. Okay, hold on. This is a new one
Okay.
for me. I'm working it out.
Are you on the computer or are you on your phone?
I actually switched it to the phone because it seems to be okay.
Yeah,
Is
see,
that
we see your computer.
tell me if you see me now?
No, we just see your computer zooming in and zooming out.
Okay, what about now?
No, it's still your computer.
Let's
It's
start it
like your
back.
camera, the camera is facing the computer and we're looking at your computer.
Device unexpectedly stop. Okay, wait a minute. It's giving me some direction.
Okay. All right. So as she's working on that, let me go into the chat and you're still backwards. Okay, so Linda says, question, who do I need to speak with about a soft skills or etiquette program I've created? Linda, is that the question that you're going to ask the secretary? You're still backwards, Sharonda. Is that the question? I like that question, Linda. I love that one. So when they say, hello, Johnson Elementary, and she's going to say, Johnson Elementary, Miss Tilson speaking, and you're going to say, who do I need to speak with about a soft skills etiquette program I've created? Okay, hold that thought. Good morning, Pansy. Good morning, Pansy. We are doing amazing today. We're going to help some people close some contracts today. So those who can bear with us through our little technical issues, baby, we're going to get this together and we're going to get y'all what y'all need. So you might have to be a little patient with us, but we're going to get you what you need, okay? Because I want us to close contracts. There are enough contracts for all of us. We just have to understand that we need to speak to the decision maker. That's right, Pence. You understand that she's the busiest person in the building. Hey, Carlicia. Hey, Carlicia. She says, I'm Carlicia, and I would like to leave a message about how I can improve your reading scores for the upcoming school year. If she's not available, who's responsible for setting up those PDs? I love it, Carlicia. I love it. I love it. And then, Carlicia, my next question would be, so I like Carlicia and Linda's approach. Y'all listen and take notes. And I also recommend that you all make a script on this. Make a script. And I'm also recommending that those of us who are on Facebook head over to YouTube and see me on YouTube. It's the same content, but on one of them I can be monetized and on the other one I can't. So you will be helping me by moving over to YouTube to watch this. I'm just saying, I'm giving you a lot of value. Can you help me out too? Okay, so Carlicia says that when they say Johnson Elementary, Miss Tilson speaking, she's going to say, hi, I'm Carlicia Springs, and I would like to leave a message about how I can improve your reading scores for the upcoming school year. If she's not, and then they say, she's not available. If she's not available, who's responsible for setting up those PDs? Now, I'm about to tell you something really monumental, Carlicia. When you started out, you said you're going to say, hi, I'm Carlicia Springs. You just took up valuable time. You just took up a lot of capital. And so don't feel like I need to introduce myself. See, those are those social norms because she has already given you her name more than likely. So she said Johnson Elementary, Miss Tilson speaking. And don't worry, she's coming back. She's gonna fix what she's got going on. She understands tech, but this is our first time using this platform. So I want you to know this, Carlicia, and everybody write this down because I recommend that you make a script while you're on this call. When I tell you I'm helping you close contracts, when I tell you this is a gold mine, you're going to pay people thousands of dollars to not tell you this because they don't know it, because they work in the business world and they don't work in the school world. First thing, you're going to note her name. You're going to note the person who answered that phone's name. Your goal is to make a really quick connection. Your goal is to break down the, now somebody already said, who was it? Facilitating leaders already said, Pansy already said, they're the busiest person in the building. They're super busy. They're doing 10 things at one time. They're taking calls. They got people standing in front of them. They got students needing to get into class. They got the principal calling over the walkie talkie. Any of this sound familiar to y'all? Any of this sound familiar? They're trying to type on the computer a email that needs to go out. All of this is happening simultaneously. And then the phone rings and they reach over and they say, Johnson Elementary, Miss Tilson. Guess what? She don't want to hear no hi, I'm Carlicia Springs. And I would like, no, no, no. When I talk about confidence, this is what I'm talking about. I want you to say, hey, Miss Tilson, I hope you're having an amazing day. Instantly, you're going to break her down. Instantly, you're going to break her down because, first of all, you paid attention to her name. Second of all, you called her by her name as if you know her, as if you know her. And then you want to try to build a quick connection. Some people like if I were to call and her last name is DeBose, I would say, oh my God, you're a DeBose? Wait, before we get started, you might be relative to me. You might be a family member to me. And then we're going to have a quick conversation about that. So you want to figure out what is the connection. Maybe they have a beautiful name. Oh my God, that name is so beautiful. It's so romantic. I would love to have that last name. How are you doing today? And so you're trying to break down the window. You're trying to get over the fence because they are busy and they are just trying, they're in the mode of, let me get you off here. I got stuff to do. Okay, let's see. She's back now. Okay, I think she's ready now. I think she's ready. I can see you now. Yay.
Ooh,
I can
I
see
was
you
like learning how to walk again.
again. All right.
Ooh.
So, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Good
All right.
morning.
Good
How is your day
morning.
going?
It's going. Apologies for my tardiness. I never used this system, and it was like learning how to walk again.
But guess what? We only got to learn once. Once we learn,
Okay,
we've
that's
been
right.
there. So now you got it. Next
Restream.
time you'll be good to go. And
Yeah,
that's okay because we
absolutely.
know you're going to help us today. We know you're going to
Okay.
help us.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
do
So I was
it.
telling the folks, I was giving them a little bit about the busyness of your job. I know that I've called on many occasions and I hear you doing a multitude of things. Can you just give a brief glimpse into the number of things you do at the same time?
Woo. Okay. Starting the morning by getting everything opened up and set up. We have multiple entities. I think I have 8 offices within my office. So that means I'm coming in. Subs are right behind me. Teachers are coming in with the need of everything. I have to get the vault open where they get their supplies and get the attendance people set up. So I'm directing people to where they're going. Listening for the phone because usually I'm the first one there about 6:45, 6:50. My boss is, requesting whatever he's asked for, and then he's letting me know his rundown for the day. So I'm listening to multiple people. I'm having subs sign in. I have SSD side, I have third floor side. It's always complicated that first 30 to 45 minutes of the morning. That's a no go for any call. So if you call, you're going to get, he's unavailable right now. You have to call back, within, it's like peak times of the day. So morning,
Yes.
first 45 to an hour, that's pretty much, I wouldn't chance it. If you do, you probably won't get through. So I'm not saying you can't call, I'm saying you probably won't get your answer call.
So the
Um,
busiest time of the day is right before school opening, going up until about what time?
about 7:50 by then. So if I get there about 6:45, about 7:50, students are in class, teachers are in class, so I don't have to deal with them pieces. Because kids do come to office too, but we kind of send them on their way to their offices. We have a seventh and eighth grade office. Um, the next peak time is between 10:30 and 12:30. We have three lunches, and our administrators, they work all three lunches. He actually told me yesterday from now on, because he tries to accommodate parents. He's like, from now on, we will not see parents between the hours of, because it's too much back and forth, and of course they need that supervision in there with the students, trust me.
Yes.
Middle school.
Okay. So now, tell us this. I know we just got straight into conversation, and I know the people got a lot of questions. Y'all put y'all questions in the chat. Carlicia, I got some more for you because we're gonna go through a full call. Okay. So
Okay.
Carlicia, y'all put y'all questions in the chat, and again, y'all Facebook folks, come on over to YouTube. We need to run these numbers up. Come on over to YouTube. Don't be selfish takers. I want you to take because we giving. But give a little bit to me,
Absolutely.
girl. Come on over to YouTube and join us. We on YouTube, girl. So look, tell us a little bit about your background. Now you've been in the school system for nearly 20 years. Can you run
Yeah.
down like the different buildings that you've been at and your experience in the school system?
Yes, I have been in the first floor district for, I'm going on my 19th year. I actually came in on an aid level, just wanting to pay back student loans. I came in on an aid level working two jobs. So that was a part time and then my actual job as a stylist. And I got there, I started about 6 months in. They asked me to move into the Berkeley Middle. I started at the high school. They asked me to move into the middle school, start there, assisting a principal there in the attendance area. So I did that for a few years. And then they needed me. Mind you, no move I made was on my own. These are moves they gave me. So I looked at them as opportunities to grow. So I went from there, then back Ferguson Middle. I did a 4 or 5 under a principal. Then I moved from there back to the high school where I started with the part time, just trying to get my student loans paid. And over there, they gave me. I was doing the guidance counselor secretary. So that was a little new because I've been working under principals and with their attendants. So over there, I did the guidance. So from guidance, they moved me upstairs into attendance for the whole school. So then I was handling attendance for about 1,600. I really liked it that at that point. Left there, they moved us, they redistricted us. So they moved me to McClure North. 2 weeks there. I really didn't feel it in my bones. So then the principal at Cross Keys called me and asked me could I be his secretary. Of course, I was typing, doing my interview, while we talked, there was the interview and I was typing up my, writing out my daggone application on the computer while the interview was happening. So I went over there. And once I got over there, a change happened within that week. I was coming in, the office manager was going out, and he was like, okay, you might be on a twofer here. He's like, so you just coming in and she's leaving you on the spot. So I didn't even have to interview for that, which my years of experience was a compilation of office manager. I actually can operate everything in the school system offices because of my years of travel and move. So it's been a great experience. I've learned a lot, and especially for this piece that you all are on, I know a lot of you all do need to call and talk with principals, but just giving some information on what's a good time, what's not a good time, and try to keep an open mind, keep it short. That's the key. If you can get your spill out in 2 sentences, past 2 sentences, something else has occurred. I can tell you.
Right. Okay. So wait. So we just talked about this. Carlicia was in the chat. Okay. So we gave the scenario. Well, I gave the
Mhm.
scenario, and y'all come on and put your questions in the chat, and also put your intro in, like what you would say. So the phone rings. It's ringing. You pick up. Cross keys middle. Miss Tilson speaking.
Mhm.
I told him to put in the chat what it is they're
Okay.
gonna say. So
I see
Carlicia
Linda.
said.
Hi, Linda. I'm sorry.
Carlicia
I'm sorry.
said she's gonna say, "Hi, I'm Carlicia Springs, and I would like to leave a message about how I can improve your reading scores for the upcoming school year."
So in that case, I wouldn't even try and locate the principal. I would get name, number, and a briefing of, what it is you have to offer. And I myself would speak to my principal on what it is that you're bringing, what you want to bring anyway. And then I would leave it up to, in that case, I would leave it up to him to make that call. If I saw it a need, this is my piece because I care. I usually try to push it. So if you gave me your spill and it sounds like, our building needs this, then I'm like mentioning, hey, did you call us Miss Lady back? Or whomever it is, like, did you call it back? And, I'm trying to prick it all day to get the call back. So if it's a need that I see, I really try to push it.
Okay. And so one of the things that I explained to Carlicia, and I want you to
I
think
just,
about all secretaries, because now, Carlicia, now keep in mind that all secretaries are different. I'm giving you a
yes,
secretary perspective and someone who also works with a lot of secretaries. So
yes,
she's been all throughout, a district. This is a huge district in the state of Missouri.
yeah,
She's been throughout in several positions, but she's also been over other secretaries, has other secretaries under
mm,
her. She's had other secretaries above her.
yeah,
And everybody don't always have the greatest of spirit.
yeah,
So I was telling Carlicia, I said, one of the things is when you call, we ain't got time for you to be telling who you are and all this stuff. You got to
yes,
get straight to the point. And I was telling them one of the strategies that I use, like if I were to call your school and the phone rings and you pick up and you say Cross Keys Middle, Miss Tilson, I'm going to address you by name. I'm
yeah,
going to be confident about what it is I have to offer. And I'm gonna say, hey, Miss Tilson, how's your day going today, to kind of, immediately engage with you. And
yeah,
then you're gonna say whatever your response is gonna be. And then I am going to confidently put myself in a position of as if I've already talked to the principal. So I'm not going to say I have so and so and so and so. And I'm going to give y'all some real game right here. Let me give y'all some real game, okay? One of the things I do, like if I met anybody from that district, so for example, I know a person over at what is she at McClure North. Her
mm-hmm.
name is Annie Gunn. And
Oh, I
Annie,
know Amy.
yeah, so Annie works in the district. So
Okay,
when I'm talking to Miss Tilson, she don't know what this call is about. I'm gonna say, Miss Tilson, I was speaking with Annie Gunn over at McClure North. You see, she
yeah,
just said she knows Annie Gunn,
yeah.
right? We're doing some work. We're doing a project over here, and we want to bring Mr. Thomas in on this project. Can you get me through to him?
And see, that's keywords right there. So right off, my antennas are up. My concern and interest is with this call. So again, I'm gonna try and get them to the phone. If not, I'm getting detailed information and pricking them all day. Hey, you need to call so and so back. I think that's a big help for us. I saw where Carlicia added in the chat. That's a key line. She put in there, raising scores, reading scores.
Uh
So
huh.
automatically we know that that's something that's needed. Reading scores are always important and always discussed in the office when they have their little meetings in there. So yeah, that would strike me. I'm like, okay, that's important. That's for me to make sure he gets as well.
And you
So
got to relay it in a way where she knows that you know and that you
yeah,
have evidence that you've done this before. So I just gave y'all a whole
yeah.
dive. Give me my like on YouTube. Give me my like on YouTube right now. Because if you didn't write that
Keywords.
down, if you didn't see what I did, now she don't I didn't talk to her about this before now.
No, no.
But when I said that name, you see her antennas went up. I
Yeah.
didn't say that, Annie told me to call. So
Mhm.
if there's a parent in the district, if there is someone who you can make that connection for the secretary will be more willing and
Yeah.
more interested and feel like this is of great importance. But the other thing that I need you to see that I didn't ask Miss Tilson for permission
Yeah.
when she got on the call. And Miss Tilson don't even know that this is what is happening. Like
Yeah.
she hearing it now. But if you think about it, Miss Tilson deals with women all day.
all day.
A lot of the people in the school are women. The people
Yeah.
who call on her phone are women, and we are all women. Okay. But Miss Tilson, tell us about, and I'm calling her Miss Tilson in her secretary name. Her name is Sharonda. Okay.
Yeah.
But tell us about some of the calls that you get from parents, the good ones and the bad ones, just in a day, because
Ooh.
I want them to take into consideration when you hear the woman's voice on the line and you
Mhm.
don't know what it is, but all the stuff that you've dealt with all day. So tell us some of the calls that you get.
Well, like you said, good and bad. So most of the time, I will say by the end of the call is good. So they call and they have issues about, it could be attendance, it could be behavior, so more behavior, but they start out and they're already defensive, they're already angry. I gotta, hear what they're saying because I try to give them their ample time for, to spill. Because if you cut them off, then you started something new. So it's you have your good side and your bad side of parents. All parents are not the same. Everybody needs something different. But if they know that I have the attention and the care for it, that kind of brings them down from where they are. The good parents usually they're calling, and you're right, they use my name, let me know who their student is, so that connects me, so they want me to know. They try to make it as detailed as possible. I am just there to give them what they need in the best way I can. So if I cannot fix it, if I cannot help them, I'll let them know that I may not be the best person for this, but let me place you on hold. Let me get you to that person. Like, I can't fix everything. You know what I'm saying? So some things are out of my hands. Some things I got to transfer out of the building. But for the most part, I don't think I've ran into a question in this 19th year that I hadn't already dealt with. So parents are, you can't look at them and tell what they are or who they are. You can't hear them and think that you know them, because that don't work either. So it's all about receiving them where they are, even if it's mad, and let them know I totally understand why you are this upset. But give me a minute, let me try and help fix what it is or get that person, or so it's the entities, they run deep. I'm telling you, they run deep. We go all the way from just something as simple as attendance to something as big as, hey, I heard my daughter say that a teacher said something inappropriate. Now, when you get to that point, I'm really like, because inappropriate, like, so your levels change with what's needed. So you're emotionally up and down all day. I've had to cry with a parent, so it just depends on what it is they need, what I have to offer. And the best part of the job is getting what they need. Like, that lets me know I've completed the task. They are happy when they get off the phone. The level of anger has come down, and it's been times where they come up because they
Okay.
felt like you didn't have what they needed. You didn't, answer what was the problem. So I'm on my way up there, and I want to see you when, they let you know what it is, and you got to be prepared, because I've had to, not many, but like one or two. Like, I'm on my way up there. When I get there, be ba 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 ba. So, just when you got to turn around and put your cloak on, you got to go into, because I'm telling you, when you come out, you don't know what to expect. And I always try to greet with a smile, like, let them know, hey, I'm Miss Tilson. I was talking with you on the phone. I apologize, for the level of anger it went to. I don't want to upset you. I just want to help. I'm here to help. Like, I try to let them know. Usually that brings them down. I haven't had anybody go further than that, so, but we get some characters. Just know that.
So keep in mind, you don't know, your call may come right after she just talked
Yeah.
to somebody who on their way up there. I'm bringing a news crew. I'm beating your boot, boot, boot. And then here go
Yep.
your call talking about, hi, I'm Tanya Mays. And I was like, girl, if you don't get off my phone. And so that's why I say you got to break the ice. You got to let her know this is not a defensive call, but you also have to not, you can't blend in with the parent. You can't, she
Hmm.
can't, you got to take her out of the mode. I'm talking
Hmm.
to a parent, because when we hear the female voice and she's talking to 90% females, all day long, you got to separate yourself from those
Mm-hmm.
parents. And you got to go into a position of authority, not that you are over her, but to say, "Hey, I'm not a parent. I know you've been dealing with some stuff today." And so that's why I always break the ice with, "How's your day going?" And then she might
Mm-hmm.
say, "It's been a zoo up in here, boy. It's the last week of school.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, I'm just trying to get these calls out." And I'm gonna say something like, "I know that's right, and I'm gonna pray for you every single day, because I know that you once that building is clear, you're gonna be able to breathe." I just talked to Annie Gunn over at McClure North,
Yeah.
and we're doing this project, and I'm trying to get, what's your principal name?
Mr. Govan.
I'm trying to get Mr. Govan on the call so that we can go ahead and get this set up. Can I? Is he available now, or what's the best time that I can speak to him, or what do I need to do to get through to him? You see how I'm transitioning right into what I need. I'm
Mhm.
not carrying on the conversation super long, but I am breaking the ice and letting her know I'm
Mhm.
not one of them. Like them
Right.
people, they doing that to her over
Right.
there. That
Right.
ain't what I'm doing. And then she's gonna go and then she'll say, tell us what you would say.
Well, in that conversation, um, the way you brought me out of what I was standing in and took me into I have something to offer, that it changes the transition of the mode, So now I'm not in the parent angry spot. It's like now I'm not mad. She's broken the ice. I'm feeling like this is something of importance. So now you have my attention. So I'm writing the detail. I'm trying to get, you in the space you need to be in. Because the tone does matter. When I answer, the tone will tell you where I am. Trust me. I know people try to act like, I'm always good. Everything is always, you'll know if it's cross keys versus cross keys middle. How may I help you today? This is Mrs. Tilson speaking. You see what I'm saying? So tone lets you know where the day is at. If I'm in a hurry, cross keys. You don't even know what cross keys mean. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it is. It could be a hospital. I'm just saying what is coming out lets you know where you gonna get in or not. And I've had one of the calls to come, heard that. She used the tone. Hi, is this Mrs. Tilson? I'm like, it is. She was like, Miss Tilson, it sounds like you're really busy. Give me a time I can call you back. And I was like, okay. So she considered it's busy. Took her number down, called her back, at the time stated. But yeah, tone does matter too, because it lets you know what the
I
building
don't
is
know if they
doing.
caught that T. Wait a minute, let's stop. Because I don't know if they caught that one. I
Okay.
think some people let that go past them. They didn't hear what just happened. So she said, you can kind of tell when somebody is super busy. And
Mhm.
she answered, she was like cross keys. And and it felt super busy. And she said, and the person on the other end, what they were doing was establishing a relationship with
Yeah.
her. They
Yeah.
were taking into consideration her feelings. They were adding social capital
Yeah.
into the relationship. You sound really busy. Can I just give you my number? Or
Yeah.
what's the best time to call you back? I don't
Yeah.
even want to make you work. Like, I don't even need you to write my number down. What's the best? Give me a time to call, a slower time of the day to call back. She'll say her time. All right, I'll talk to you then, Miss Tilson. This is Dr. D, and then
Yeah.
we getting off the phone. Now, when
Yeah.
I called back at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, when she said to call back, I'm calling back and she's answering. I'm saying, Miss Tilson, I hope your day has gotten a whole lot better, because I know it's
Mhm.
hard running the school, because we know that the secretary really running the school. So
For real.
now she knows who I am, because I've taken into consideration. And now, what's your attitude when I call you back at the designated time?
Well, see, at that point, then I know, first of all, you cared about my time of day and what was happening in my life at that moment. You called back at the time you said, and you also offered blessings. I hope things have gotten better. I just want to give you a minute just to, let you know what I do, what I have to offer if you can get me to the principal. So, again, relationship. Everything is about a relationship. So even though I don't know her face, I heard her voice, I heard her sympathy, I heard her caring for my moment. And so, of course, I'm making sure. One of your ladies, she calls so much, I start feeling bad. So then I'm in there fussing with the principal, like, you gotta find a minute to talk to her. Like, she is of importance to what you're doing. Like, what you have, what you're trying to do, she could be helpful. It had got to the point where I felt like she was my, my person. I'm my client. I'm making sure he knows. He was like, why you fussing at me? Like, I'm busy. I'm like, you gotta find a minute. Just a minute. I mean, I know he talked to her once or twice. Boston, please. Once or twice, but I don't even know what happened with that, but I stayed on him about it. So the call did happen. I don't know if if
See,
it connected.
and see, sometimes our folks be missing it. Y'all hear that? That's follow up, y'all.
Yeah,
So the person continued to follow up. So
yeah.
her name, when she called, it was like, oh, you ain't talked to her yet. She been calling for a month now, and you ain't talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all is
Yeah,
fortune in the follow up. So write that down.
definitely.
Make sure to follow up, and don't
Yeah.
be scared to follow up. Now I know some people. Now y'all, I know I'm finna get these questions in the chat. I promise y'all. I'm trying to get y'all some important information too. So I'm coming with the questions in the chat. Put them in the chat. I got it. I'm finna come back to it. Because I know some of y'all are thinking, y'all know I know y'all. Y'all know I know y'all. Some of y'all are thinking, well, all secretaries are not like you because you seem to be very down to earth, very reasonable. You care about your job, and I also want to point out to the folks who are listening. She said several times she wants to complete her task. She wants to follow through. She wants to get the thing done and get you the help that you need so she can mark you off her list and go on. Keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that later. But with the other people who you're working with, let's talk about some of the ladies who maybe are not as jovial as you are
Right.
or who don't have such a positive perspective,
Right.
and us as women and consultants who sell very valuable services are calling in. Give us something on that.
Well, I will say that I'm probably more fortunate than most secretaries. I think my crew replicates my spirit. I think we all are pretty helpful. I think we all are pretty happy. Like when you call, I haven't had anybody to say like, I had a rude person answer. We don't really get that. So the environment, we set the tone in the morning. The environment is good. I think I'm very fortunate there because I have worked in a building where it was all dry faces and upside down smiles. So I mean, I'm I'm just really glad that the women that are there with me, we don't have the messy, catty, ugly morning, like where you come in, it's just like, good morning. We don't do that. We're laughing, we're talking. We actually got a guy on board now, and he's like really upbeat and happy, and we're shocked because well, we expect it from us because we know how to switch hats. You come in from just beating the kid up, but then you put the hat on. Now I'm a secretary, so he's fitting. He's good, and I'm just thankful that we do have kindred spirits in our office. So when you call, you may not get through at that time, but you should get a pleasant, you know, call. So they should be pretty warm. Most time when you're chipper, they're chip. It's kind of like you reading the room. When you answer, that's why I said tone matters. So if I answer it sound like I just snatched the phone from across the desk, that's probably what just happened. But for the most part, as we get into a conversation or the latter call, you'll see like, no, she's pretty chipper. So yeah, the that front face, the secretary, the office manager, whomever gets it, that depends. That sets the tone for the call. And if the busyness is happening, you probably won't get through. You just have to be, like Chanel said, persistent and call back, like follow through with what was said. If I said, give me 20 minutes, let me get this parent out of here and I'll, get your call when you call back. It's like being on point. Well, if I said 20, but you call back in an hour, trust me, I'm standing there like, I told her 20 minutes because here I am now. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel like you was hard headed. I ain't talking to you. So
Write it
for
down,
real,
people, when they tell, and
for
that's
real.
true. That is true. I've had a secretary tell me that before. She said, I told you to call back in 30 minutes. This an hour later. I got lunch duty now. She was like,
Yeah.
everybody's coming in, the kids are coming
Yeah.
in, the nurse needs to do what she needs to do. And that's
Yes.
how I learned. That's why I'm telling y'all, these are lessons that I had to learn the hard way. You
Yeah.
do not have to learn the lesson the hard way. If she said call back in 30 minutes, don't say to yourself, I'm gonna do her a favor and I'm gonna give her an
Call
hour.
back. Because you're not getting through again. It's gonna be like, yep, back in another setting of busy. Because actually, our nurse is stationed in our office, so
Yeah.
we got the nurse assistant, we got three, we got the psychologist, we got the speech pathologist, we got the social worker, we got two counselors, attendance secretary, registrar, me, and the principal and our SRO. So our office is busy. We don't even allow the seventh and eighth grade. It's not even stationed in there. Like when they get to us, they're going home. That's how big it is. So it's always some traffic. Like it's hardly ever where you don't see anybody in there, but it's the adult business or business, So students, they only come in if they're late, we give them a pass, they go into, well, they give them a pass and they go into class. But for the most part, it is business. You got Amazon coming in all day. Like we about to be on first name basis with Amazon. So it's always somebody coming in and out. So don't ever think that we're brushing you off or we don't have time for you. Like really, if it sounds like we don't have time, we don't. We don't have time. People think that we had a custodian to hurt himself and they gave him light duty. So what they did was placed him in the office with us. He was there with us for 2 months. So he's used to, and he said, you know what? He said, I've been underestimating y'all. I thought y'all just sit here all day and do much of nothing. He said, I have used my brain more in this time span than even on my job. He said, I use my hands on my job. He said, so that's what's crazy. I got mad respect for y'all. Like, he was like, these 2 months has been so eye opening what y'all deal with. Like, hats off to y'all. He said, I thought my job was hard, but y'all really do have a hard job. I was like, thank you, because people don't know. People do think that. I
Yeah, they
think we
think that
heard
it's
before.
just you sitting there answering calls when it's
That's what they think.
doing multiple things simultaneously and
Yeah.
trying to solve problems in the process. Now, we're gonna answer Letitia's question, but I also want you to think about what in some of your other school experiences, a secretary who was not just wasn't a pleasant person, period. Like she's just not a pleasant person when she takes the calls, how would they get through to the principal with that type of person?
Was that question for me? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
too busy reading the chat. Okay, say it again for me. I'm sorry.
So when think about some of your previous experiences with a secretary who is not a pleasant person,
Okay.
like just a negative Nancy, and don't really want to be at the job. And they got the job because they got to pay their bills and they really shouldn't be in the position.
Hmm.
What is the difference in them talking to a person like that and talking to a person like you and them trying to get through to the principal?
Chances are that message won't even be relayed because they have no care for the job. They're not there for the job. They're there for the check. Meaning all that tedious, that small, which they would see that as that ain't even if he wanted to talk to him, like they let him call his phone. Like you would not get through with that type of person because they don't have any care for what they're doing. They're there for the check. It's just like teaching. You can tell those that are there for teaching, and you can tell those that are there for the check. So that is also important. If you get somebody on the phone and within that 15 seconds you hear, oh, they don't really care about what I'm talking about, then like try it again a little later. Hopefully you get a different person on the phone, because again, we have multiple people answering that main line. So yeah, that's a that's a big piece because right now we don't have anybody like that. Everybody there needs their job, so they know. And I'm always telling them like be careful how you are on the phone, like because some parents could take you there, and everybody ain't experiencing the same way. So it's like be careful how you are on the phone because you never know when our superintendent is putting, like some type of fake call just to see how you operating. So we're always mindful of that too, because that has happened. So
I
yeah.
think that that's a really good point, and I need y'all to pick up on this because we are in the understanding, or all of us should be, that everybody's not going to be bright and pleasant but
Right.
pick up on these gems and get me my likes on YouTube. Get me my likes. Tasha Scott, I don't know why you on Facebook when you need to be over on YouTube. Tasha Scott.
I love
Tasha
Tasha
talking
because
about
she's
y'all twins with Russell and Roxy, and then you got Boston. And baby Boston living like a king. Do you hear me?
girl. He heard
Been
me talking.
in trouble because he lived on the couch, and then she gonna try to make the dog live on the floor, gonna go buy all of this fancy bedding. He living better than the homeless people, but he said, no baby, I've been on the couch for 6 7 years, and you done lost your mind if you think I'm gonna sleep on the whole floor.
It's
But I
sad.
digress. I feel like Boston is being mistreated, and then she moved this other dog in, and it's just a mess over there. Okay, I need for Boston to
Boston.
get his king status back. Her dog drinks water out of the sink, like literally, you run the faucet, and he drinks his water out of the sink. Anyway, so this is
He
what
is
I
on
want
his
y'all to
way.
pick up on.
Look, he heard you call his name.
That's
Come
right,
on.
Boston.
Come on.
This is what I want
Come on.
y'all to pick up on. She said they need their job. Let me say this again. Look at Boston. Y'all ain't gonna play with Boston. Boston, what's going on, Mr. Boston?
Get down off of me.
So let me tell y'all. She said they need their job. If they want
Mhm.
their job and they want their paycheck and they there because they need that paycheck, people pay attention. They need that paycheck. This is why I'm giving y'all these tips, because everybody ain't gonna be pleasant. Everybody ain't gonna be nice. You need a
Right.
strategy. Everybody ain't gonna care. So they already know I ain't giving it to that principal. I ain't even writing that number down. That's why I need y'all to say stuff the right way. That's why I need y'all to call confidently. That's why I need you to know what it is that you offer and to bridge that into something else. Now, I'm finna combine these two answers, okay? Because Letitia said, what if you have no names of schools or leaders to reference when speaking to the secretary? You shouldn't be calling. Because first of all, you should know who the leader is. Because when you looked up that school, you should have looked up who that principal is. You got to know who you are calling to speak to, even
Yeah.
if you don't know who runs that program. See, that's the part where we want other people, and I'm not saying this is what Letitia is doing. I'm saying this for everyone. We can't expect the other people to do the work for us. Like
Hmm.
when you are calling, I call, and let me say this, we're not calling one school. When you're making calls, you should have a list of 25, 30 schools that you're calling back to back to back, because is the power is in the numbers, because you already know a lot of them are going to be no's. The no's just get us to the next yes. So you already know you got the principal's name written down. So you got to call like you know the people. You got to call like you have a connection. And then you can look on their website. You can see things that's going on. Um, like if you don't know the person, one thing that I did one time, this is when I was doing my STEM PD. I was looking at this school out here in Melville, and so they had just introduced one of their initiatives was a STEM program.
Hmm.
And so they did an article in the paper, which is how I found out about it. And I was like, "Ooh, they could use my services." Let me be totally transparent. Melville is a predominantly white district, really,
Yeah.
as most are in Missouri. But like Sharonda works in Ferg Floor, which has a high number of African Americans. But Melville probably has less than 5% African American. And so I knew that they could benefit from me coming there. Not to mention that my work is the bomb, okay? Like I know that I'm good at what I do. And so when I called to speak to the principal, I connected it to that article in that paper. And I act like, notice I said, I act like we had a connection. Hey,
Okay.
I'm caught. And this is another key. We got to stop doing this, Mr. and Mrs. and principal and all this. In the consulting world, CEO to CEO. I'm calling you by your first name. I know that we as Black people culturally, we think that it's disrespectful to call people by their first name that you don't know. Well, you're not in the Black world. You're in the white world in the school system. So I'm calling, I'm saying the secretary's answering, this is Miss Tilson. And when she answers, I'm gonna say, hey, Miss Tilson, I'm trying to get Tom on the line.
So,
You all have that new initiative, that new STEM initiative that's happening, and I know that we can really push this forward. What's the best way to get in contact with him? You see how I just went straight into what it is he's doing. It's a new initiative. Can I get him on the call, or can I get him to call me back? Another key is if you've already emailed him. Some of y'all just trying to cold call and have not already tried through email. A lot of
mhm,
times the principal's email is right there on the website. And so I'm targeting. I'm not just calling schools randomly. I'm looking at the school improvement plan. I'm seeing what their initiatives are. Am I spending 20, 30 minutes? Absolutely not. I'm pulling up the main website. I'm pulling up the school improvement document. It's required on all school websites, federally mandated. I'm pulling it up. I know what my area is. I'm looking to see if my area is on there. If my area is not on there, I'm going on to the next school. I can get this done. I can spend 1 to 2 hours in a day making a list of 25, 30 schools I want to look at. Most times, if I pull up the district website, the district's school improvement plan, I can see if it's a district school improvement goal, it's a goal for all of the schools too. So I'm good on that. So then I'm making a list. I'm making the principals' names. I'm getting their emails. You all can have your virtual assistants do this. And then I'm sending them emails. So now when I call Miss Tilson with a principal that I don't know, with a leader that I have no relationship with, I'm gonna say to her, hey, Miss Tilson, me and Tom, me and Mr. Giovanni, look, I done messed man name up. We've been in email back. We've been in this email entanglement. I need to just get him on the phone. Yeah, that
okay.
man emailed me back, but Miss Tilson don't know that.
And no,
But I'm telling her we've been in this. Notice I'm wording is important. I ain't gonna lie, not flat out. I'm a play on words. We've
yeah,
been in this email entanglement. I've been sending him an email. He ain't been sending it back. She don't know what the entanglement is.
that's an entanglement.
Okay. And so now, even with that mean secretary, she knows that he's in communication with her.
Right.
And so, because she knows, the secretary knows, this mean secretary knows that you've been emailing, now you calling and you still not getting through. She knows that when I finally get through to that principal and say, I've been steady calling you and haven't been able to get through, then she don't want to lose her job. So she's going to send my message through. I'll even say things like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't get his cell phone number. Can you like send me through to his voicemail, please? Or can you give me a time that I can call him back? I didn't say that he was willing to give me his cell phone number.
Right.
I'm just making a statement. I don't know why I didn't get his cell phone number. That's letting her know we have a connection. And now I'm back at the top of the radar because, oh, shoot, she must know him because she should have got his cell phone number. And especially if you met them at a conference. If you met the person at a conference and y'all introduced yourselves and and that's how you are following up, don't say I met him at a conference. You can say we did some work together at the facilitating leaders conference and I need to follow up with him. You
Hmm.
see how I'm making connections. So you got to figure out your own connection. Okay, so now what was the next question? That's right. She said that's a great environment to be in. I've walked in some offices where it was all low vibrations. Right. And one of the things that I do work to kill them with kindness, but I will also say that a lot of times we want the secretaries to do the work for us. Like we want the secretaries to tell us all of the information, but we don't come with the attitude that we are confident in what it is that we offer. So
Hmm.
tell me this, Sharonda, when people call the school system and they ramble on.
So we all know rambling is not good. Because first of all, to me it says that you don't have your stuff together. It says that you didn't do the homework because that's you didn't gave me too much. I'm lost on even what it is you're offering. While it's on my mind, let me jump back a little bit to what Chanel was saying about the internet, the district website, not the internet, the district website. When you go on the district website for the school, there is a directory. Go through it. Find that reading specialist. Find that STEM coordinator. Find that math specialist. It's probably two or three, but that's where, if you get a couple of names, you can send them an email. The emails are on there too. You can call and ask for them. Now, you might not get through to them because I'm sure they don't answer while they're teaching. Not real teachers, anyway. We're not allowed to really transfer in, but if I hear importance, I do. But that's just me and how I operate. I've never not taken a message and didn't give it. I want to say that either. So every message that I get, I give it. He might get 4 or 5 sticky notes from me by lunchtime. But if I know that this is a good fit, that's when I press. So I'm like, but this one right here, this yellow one, is from Miss DeBose, Dr. D. So you need to call her as early at your earliest convenience. So again, the words, you know, the relationship we built in them 2 minutes. So use that district website, get some names of those teachers. Hey, if you don't see the emails, ours do have email. Send them an email on what you have to offer and see how they can backdoor you in, because those that are really trying, that really want their classrooms thriving, they will make sure when they see Mr. Govan in the hall, they'll be like, hey, Dr. D from Educators Moving On sent me an email earlier, and I think she has something that we need to take a look at. So again, you could backdoor in. That's just me hearing you talking, Chanel. Backdoor in. Use them names. Call. Hey, is Dr. D available today? I know she's the reading specialist for that building, but I just have something I want her to hear. Even if I sent her to voicemail, she could be on her lunch playing period, and she just get the voicemails. And like, okay, like that's pretty good. I might call her back. So use all the avenues. Don't just try calling through at the office, in the main office. Use those emails, use those teacher names, get in with them. Like the websites have what's going on, like Chanel said, so you know what's coming up. Like Map Tester has everything, a look affiliation, everything. You could use whatever you see to get whatever it is you need.
Okay, now I want to ask you this because this was a test that I did for myself.
Hmm.
So when you receive calls, do you respond better to the super professional person or to the relatable, regular conversation person?
Yeah, the relationship. The relationship person, the person that sounds like they care about my morning and I care about theirs. So it's a listening skill you have. If it's just about what I need and that's that. Or in the call if it's hey, I have a concern for what you need and I would like for you to hear what I'm saying and have a concern for what I need. So it's relationships. Ships move. Just know that relationships. So let's make sure we're saying the right thing, make sure we're attentive to what that person is going through or the moment they're in. Don't just think it's all about you when you heard me say cross keys. You're like, hi, I'm Dr. D, and I'm in my mind like, okay, right now he's not available, and you can try him back around 12:30. Like, I'm not even in tune with what you're saying.
I
You
need y'all to
dismiss
hear that.
you
I need
dismissed
y'all to
me
hear that because
in my moment.
us folks with all these degrees and with all first, like I know that I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. You can get mad at me all you want to. You can get mad at me all y'all want to, but what you're not gonna say is that Dr. D don't want you to live the life of your dreams and make good money. That's why I'm telling you this. Other folks not gonna tell you this. Y'all stop it with all this super professional. I got 16 degrees and 32 certifications, and I'm going to be the professional. Hello, may I speak? This is Tanya Gills, and I would like to speak with. Don't nobody want to talk to you. They got that all day at school. They don't want that. Like they
Right.
do not want that. That is not a signal to them that you are good at what you do, because people who are good at what they do, they come as their authentic self.
Yes,
People
I
who
agree.
know that they're good at what they do, They don't call and gotta be on 10. Like all of this, I gotta speak perfect grammar.
Mhm.
I gotta have the perfect accent. I gotta enunciate every word to the T. I can't mess this up. You gotta release that. You gotta release
Come over
that.
here.
I want
Come
you
over
to
here.
call the way you
Over
talk to
here.
your mama.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do. The way you talk to your mama and your sister, that's how I want you to call at school. If
Right.
you don't talk to your mama and sister saying, "Hello, Mrs. Tilson, how are you doing today?" If that's not how you talk to your mama or your sister, don't call
Yeah.
them schools like that,
Yeah.
because it immediately sends a flag off that, oh, yeah, I ain't finna worry about this. Like, I need you to know that. Now I want us to think about, and oh, okay, Letitia. Yeah, so use some of the information from the website and also use the email. If you've already emailed him or her, then you can reference the fact that, don't say I emailed him and he didn't respond. Just say something like, we've been emailing, or we got this email thing going on and we just need to get on a call.
Yeah.
We do have an email thing going on. I've been emailing you and you
They
ain't been
just
answering.
don't know it.
Right. Remember, the secretary is blind. She doesn't know what's happening in between. Her job, her satisfaction comes from completing the task and fulfilling her job at a high level. The job was, you got these calls. I need to give you your messages. I did what I was supposed to do. That's the job well done. And so your job is to make sure that she is willing to take the information down and give it to the principal. Now, the principal may or may not call back. It's always better if you can actually get that principal on the phone. But when you
Mhm.
get that principal on the phone, Miss Tilson, how much time they got?
About 2 minutes. And your first minute should have that important piece right there in it. You don't have to give your title and, like Chanel said, where how many years of experience, just straight to the point. Hey, I'm Sharonda and I have to offer for your reading specialist, blah, blah, blah. Just that simple, you know. Cause he don't even want to hear the piece of, hey, how are you today? Cause see, my principal, the one I have now, he's a time person. So he's always, so you can start out and give that long. Don't even worry about how he's doing. Hey, it's Chanel. I'm with Educators Moving On. I have blah, blah, blah. And I would like for you to take a look at it. It's just that simple. You don't need to know how he's doing. You can find that out after he come into the conversation. By the way, how's your day? I know you're super busy, so I just went right into my spiel. So yeah.
That's right. That the relationship is so important. Now, I wonder if you can think back to when men call the your phone. What's the difference between when men call and when women call? I hope this is helpful for y'all. Y'all, if
I
this is
do
helpful
too.
for y'all, give us some indication in the chat. Let us know, because we want to try to help y'all. Seriously, we do. So Sharonda, tell us, what's the difference between when men call the phone and when women call the phone?
The difference with men want to use their charm, but it's receptive for the woman. Boston, please. Here, come here. It's receptive for us because we're used to that. So we're used to men going, hey, good morning, Boston. Come on, garage. We're used to men saying, hey, good morning. How are you today? Oh, it seems like you're having a. We're used to them using their charm, so it comes off a little different. So I'm like, oh, I'm just great, and my day is going, But with women, it's different. So I don't expect you to go into charm. You see what I'm like Chanel said. You don't have to get a big spiel. Just come in with who you are and what you need, what you're offering. So men, they start with charm. They want to, they want, especially if they have the voice. So they'll start there, and then you might have been in a moment, but oh, okay, Denzel voice. So it's a big difference. Now, do they always get what they need? No, because what most of us that have been there a while, we that didn't amaze me. I know that you're charming. Now I know that you're charming. Now I know you need something. So from that point of say, like if it's important to me to get to the boss. But for the most part, that's the difference with women and men. Women do they want you to know who they are. Like I am, and I've been with such for 30 years, and we have to off. It's like it goes so long that you forgot the first part. He's like, okay, say your name again for me. So you lose people with the multiple the jumble of words. Like just come in, be as clear and cut as possible. Again, I won't say that men just they don't just get through, because chances are he's not standing right there anyway. But it's a different tone that they carry, because for whatever reason, men are they're selling charm first. Let me charm her. Let me hear her. Let her hear my deep voice. So
Right.
now so okay, fine. I heard it. It's cute. What you got? So that it's the move on piece. They don't get through because of charm. I'm just saying the difference in the men and the women. Now you
Yeah.
can do the whole spiel if you want to. I'll say that if you think that the more words you say is gonna get you in, then do that and let me prove you wrong. I'm just saying it's the quickest possible message I can jot down. Dr. D, educators moving on 314, you know what I'm saying, and it's a quick call, but what you said connected in the ear gate, so what you say is gonna matter, not really how you say it.
Hey, Jonay. Hey, Jonay. Jonay is an assistant principal here in St. Louis as well. Let me answer
Yes,
Cynthia's question right quick. And Sharonda knows this as well. Can subject matter leaders on campus make buying decisions? Almost every department has a budget.
I
So
wanted
like
to
when I
say
was the
that.
English department chair, my budget wasn't a lot. My little budget girl was only $5,000 that I could use on my own. But then we had a bigger budget that was in the school budget that I
Yeah,
also had some say over. And so every department absolutely has a budget. Yeah, so they do. Sharonda, how is it at your in your district?
they actually do have a budget. They do have the buying power. So when they turn in a rec to me or a PO, and it lists 300 strategies on how to read or whatever, that is not questioned by me. It's a book. The title seems good. I don't even carry that to the principal. That's an okay. Now, as far as budget, our budgets are not 5 grand. The biggest budget we have is general. So each, like the math department, may get 3,500. They always go over their budget, but it's okay as long as it pertains to the kids in the classroom. So yeah, you went over budget, but you won't send me a PO about Kleenex and crayons. Like you over budget. We don't even that's not even a necessity at this point. So yeah, they can buy as many books. Our librarian, she is great with ordering their books for them too, because
Yes.
now they strategically figured out how to work the budget. So when it comes to books, they run it by me. I run it by the principal and the librarian, because if she can move it in on her end with her, $30,000 budget, she'll buy it on her budget. So they are strategizing all the way around the board.
All right, that's a great point because all of the departments have budgets. They have a smaller
Yes.
budget and then they have the general budget. I can tell y'all, and then in addition to the general budget, there's also the district budget over in
Yes.
central office. So,
Yes.
like in my building, I had 492 students. I had almost a $500,000 budget. So my budget for the year was like $459,000 that I had total control over.
Right.
Like I needed to do all the things with this, but like my textbooks, like for a whole grade level, that came from central office. I'm not responsible for the grade level text. Now I am responsible for replacing, like the central office sent over 132 textbooks,
Mhm.
gave a few extras, and then the kids done lost them all. One year I had to buy 60 new math books. That was a
Mhm.
lot of money. That was like $200,000
Mhm.
because it was with the new math curriculum. So you have this budget, but then my instructional coach has a budget, and most times they use those like for professional development, any trainings that they want to go to, any new books that they want to use, and things like that. I only had one person who actually hired a coach to coach her, and it was the best money she could have spent. She
Hmm.
had a $5,000 budget. She spent 3,500 of it to pay for one-on-one coaching with a coach, and then I had somebody else who did coaching with Elena Aguilar. If you all are familiar with her, she's a education person. She has her own PD company. Anyway, so my point is, yes. The next question is, if email is sent to the instructional coach, would I CC the principal? And what about the assistant principal? Baby, I put them all on there. And
I
especially
was
if
gonna
I
say.
know what order they're in. Like if I know that
Hmm.
this person is over English and social studies,
Hmm.
and this is pertaining to English and social studies,
Hmm.
I'm sending it to, and I'm blind carboning. I'm not just CCing everybody. I
Right.
don't need them all to know that everybody got it. So I'm
Hmm.
sending it to that principal who is the evaluating principal over that. I'm sending it to the instructional coach. If it's reading, it's going to the instructional coach. Any instructional specialist is going to the English department chair, and it's also going to the assistant principal or principal who is over that department.
Yeah.
They are all getting it, but they don't all know they got it. And hopefully one of them will be able to say, did you see that email? And they're going into an email series. So I'm not sending one by one. We're creating email series, people. We're using automation. So all I have to do is input it in, and it's going to automatically send out. Let's see. I'm trying to get the questions out of the chat. Okay, what other questions do we have? What other questions do we have? So we've given them some really great points. Any other points that you want to point out to them, Sharonda?
Um, Again, just stay mindful of the busyness. And I think the best point I could give is to be precise, be quick when you call, and just go in for the gym. Just you need it right then. You saying what you need in that one or two sentences, and I think that'll connect. I think that'll make the connection. If nothing else, he gets that sticky note. You know what I'm saying? So if you get
Oh,
somebody on the phones, just say like we have the multiple secretaries and they sound like they're not into what you're saying, then go ahead and ask for, let me speak with office manager or the head secretary there or something like that. Because now you want to change from, you don't sound like you woke up on, in the best way today. So let me get somebody above you. I think you can move on to another person.
okay. And then it was a question I was gonna ask you. Oh, I done forgot the question. Oh, I know what it was. One of my strategies. Okay, y'all, I'm finna give you another one of my gems. Now, these ones that I use, like this is what gets me into calls. Sometimes I will call, and it's very effective for me. I don't know if it's because of the way I sound or what it might be, but I call, and you might be able to tell us if why this might work. But I'll call, and I will precise. I'll be precise. I just need to speak to Mr. Gavanch for 5 minutes. When can I get 5 minutes of his time?
Okay. That works. That works. Okay, and I'll say, hey, maybe let's try 12:35 because lunch ends at 12:32. Few minutes to walk down the hall. If nothing else, I can radio him because I left that time with you. If I said 12:35, I'm trying on my end to get him to where I said as well. So if I told you that he could speak with you at 12:35, regardless to if he can or not, I'm trying to get him to his 12:35 that he don't know about.
See, so y'all be precise. This is what I mean by you have to have a level of confidence. I'm giving y'all all my gems, okay? I hope it's helping y'all. Give me some fire in the chat if this is helping y'all. I need to see some fire. I need to see this place should be on fire right now. Not only have I brought y'all a real secretary who be doing the thing, but I'm also giving you my
Huh?
gems. Let me give you this gem right here. One of the other things that I will do. So when I'm calling the school system, I will call in, and I will already know like they have this program. Or let me give you a recent one that I use. Only one person gave me fire. So this only working for one person. Lord Jesus, I ain't doing my job. Only one person and gave us fire in the chat. Or y'all at least liking the thing on YouTube. Lord Jesus. Okay, so one of the things that I do. So here, what was this? This wasn't too long ago. There was a school who had to have three new assistant principals, and let me tell you how this came about. They made it was a news article about the rate of turnover in this district, and it was on social media and on LinkedIn, the rate of turnover. And then it welcomed in, listen to me now, it welcomed in, there we go. The fire is showing up now. Come on, y'all, give me some fire. So then it welcomed in the new leaders and it gave a little bio of them. It gave a little bio of them. And so it talked about how this person was a high school teacher for 17 years, just got the assistant principal job. This person did this, this person did that. So it gave all of the new leaders bios, right? And so all you have to do, who's over the principals? These are new principals into the district and assistant principals. So I call the superintendent secretary. Now, the superintendent secretary is normally a high level person. Some of y'all
Mm-hmm.
playing small going to the principal because you're scared to go to the person who can make this happen. So I went to the superintendent secretary and I ain't got time to play games. See, because I know that she don't know me and I don't know her. So I don't care if she judges me, but I also know that somebody who's working for a superintendent of that level of importance is
Mm-hmm.
probably a pretty legit person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when she answered the phone, superintendent's office, blah, blah, blah. This is Julie. Hey, Julie, how's your day going? Julie. Oh, it's going pretty amazing. That is so awesome, and I'm having an amazing day too. And I hope that we can work together to make this work out for us. Julie, do you have a minute? I want to talk to you for a minute. And Julie was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "What do you need, hon?" And I was like, I'm about to give you the real, Julie. Y'all know I keep it real. I said, y'all, you all have four new building level principals, and you also have three assistant principals, along with some other movement in your district. I would love to speak to your superintendent about offering some support to those new leaders. We all know how hard it is to step into a new role in a new district. Some of these folks are coming new into the district, and you all already have a lot going on in the district. I know that those new leaders need somebody who can mentor them and support them. And I would love to speak with your superintendent about that. Well, now we've connected. She feels like, okay, okay. She said, let me look at his calendar and let me see when he's available. And I told her, I only need 10, 15 minutes. Just give me 10, 15 minutes. If he thinks that we're in alignment, we can work together. And if not, I'm going on about my business. I got my appointment.
I
What
want
do
to
you think about
add, we spoke about keeping it small. Superintendent secretary is not dealing with all that we're dealing with. She can hear Chanel. She can, take that 5 minutes with you. So I just wanted to say, now we
it? Yep.
did say keep it short, but that's for the schools. Because what's going on in the schools ain't happening at the superintendent's office.
Great point.
Yep. So you can run your spiel for superintendent secretary. Just don't try it at the schools.
Right. So keep in mind, a lot of y'all are skipping the superintendent secretary because you are lowballing and afraid to go over to the big house. Y'all,
Yeah.
we CEOs. What are you talking about? He the CEO of the district, you the CEO of your company, and I'm not calling him superintendent nothing. I need to talk to Tom. Tom need to get this goodness I got. And I ain't talking about the other goodness.
Thank
So
you.
some of y'all, and such as LJ, I don't know if LJ is still on here, but LJ has a whole STEM curriculum supplement. LJ can even talk to the superintendent secretary. You can talk to
Yeah.
the assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction. Some of us need to be calling over to central office and not calling over to the building. Okay, so Sidra has an amazing question. Sidra says, if I like to get a meeting with a principal, would it be helpful if I brought you a little something like coffee and donuts or something?
I was gonna add this a while ago. That is how the colleges get in to set up. They come in, they bringing pens, they bringing, little what are they, like markers, a little triangle shape. They bringing little goodies and gifts. That's how they get their appointments to come and sit in with the students on the lunch periods. They set up their table, they show what's to offer, but that's the way they get in.
And let me
Hey,
interject 1 minute, because some people get confused when you say that. We ain't talking about y'all bringing copies of y'all self-published books. I ain't got nothing against y'all self-published books, but that's not a gift. Like, that's not gonna make her say, "Oh, that was so sweet of her." She not gonna read your book. Like, she not reading your book, but she can eat them donuts. She can use them pens. She can take that whatever the thing is that you give it.
Starbucks coffee,
Right.
because they do that too.
Right. Bring the Starbucks coffee or a Starbucks gift card or something. She gonna remember who you are. But I had to interject that because that was one of our biggest pet peeves in the school system. People come and dropping off copies of their books. We don't know you. We don't want your book. We ain't got nothing against your book. You're just taking the wrong approach,
That's
thinking
it.
that bringing 5 copies of your book is making us think that you're good at what you do.
Right.
I'm sorry, keep going.
It just
So
meant that you didn't sell all your books, so your extras you thought you bring to us. Okay, so I'm sorry. You was talking, I was thinking, yeah, it sounded like you didn't sell a book, so now you want to give the. We'll put them on our desk. No,
so does
but
it
just
help
a
with the
little
memory when
thoughtfulness,
people bring in a box of donuts
something,
and
yeah, to
then
offer.
request 5 minutes of the principal's time?
Yeah, yeah. And not always is that on the spot. So what the colleges do, I give their spiel. The colleges, they'll call, hey, I'm Dr. D with Goldstone College. I would like to come set up and show your students what we have to offer on my visit. I want to bring you in some donuts and coffee for the office just to show my appreciation. And I know you'll be helping me that day, so I wanted to offer you something. It's just about like caring that you'll have to stop some of your day to help them, get them down to set up and let them display their items. Now it's not benefiting me because I'm not going to college. Chances are that's why they bring the coffee, or that's why they bring the donuts. Well, one time, this one what is the Grand Canyon, they brought Subway. I was really shocked. I was like, oh, okay, they went a little further. Their budget must be nice. So they brought Subway for the office, and it was a nice little spread with chips and everything. So it just depends on who you are, what you have, and what you can do. I'm not saying everybody need a donut, because everybody don't need a donut, but it does not hurt to show like, hey, look, while I'm looking at teacher appreciation gifts, it does not hurt to show up like, hey, I'm Dr. D and I'm just in the area. I just want to stop by, give you my card. Here's a little token for you because I know you're busy. And when you get a chance, can you pass that to Mr. Govan? See, that was quick and simple. I'm going to eat
Exactly.
my Tootsie Rolls, and that card is getting to him because I felt like you cared enough to, bring something. She didn't know that I like Tootsie Rolls, but whatever it was a thought in it. So yeah, it's always good to be caring. Everybody know that.
Y'all owe us. Y'all owe us because we're giving it to y'all. We're like, if I'm telling you, you can close contracts. The problem is y'all scared to call. You won't make the call. You'll make 3 calls, get a no, or you don't get through, and then you'll say this don't work. We quit too soon. Trust me, when the men call and they don't get through either, but they don't give up. And because they use their personality, they use their charm. Many of us are trying to use our degree in our education. You're using the wrong stuff, people. You're using the wrong stuff. Be regular, be normal. And then you can do a day of visiting schools. Are there any like the colleges, but even as you think about PD people who come into your building, do you remember any names of any other PD people that come into your building?
I do, but that also depends on the relationship we built in that time, in that little
Say,
time.
say that again. So
Yeah.
the names that you remember are because of what?
The relationship, how you came in, what you brought, your ray of sunshine, whatever it was that where we connected and we laughed and might have high fived, and it's what you that ship. It's moving. It's taking it somewhere. So when I think of relationships, if we meet and no connection is made, then that's not a relationship. We
And that's
related for a minute, but the ship didn't move. So I'm
you still
always
in port.
mindful. Yep. See what I'm saying? I'm always mindful. Like, even parents, when I come out and I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, that begins to, sometimes they looking like, oh, okay, I thought she was a little stuck up. I have got that before. I thought she was stuck up. I didn't even, girl, no, I am one of you. Like, it's what you bring. So they already have a preconceived notion. I already have that when you come in, but you got to let me know that what you got is past what I thought. You know what I'm saying? The relationship, build it in the beginning, and then it'll last.
That's right. Now, Helena says, since my business is focused on special education, should I focus on reaching out to the directors of SPED? Now, I'm gonna tell you this, Helena, that is dependent upon state, because, like, I'm in the state of Missouri. Our special ed department is not in the school system, so we have special education who work in our school, but our building principals do not have precedent over those teachers. While we work in relationship, we have area coordinators. So we have a whole different entity called special education. It's like that in several states, but also in several states, it's all one. So we don't, in Missouri, we don't even have an understanding of what you're talking about when you say that everybody's in the same building. So, in other words, our special education people do not get a check from the school system. They get a check from the special education department. We get our checks from, like, Sharonda gets her check from Ferg Floor. I used to
Mhm.
get my check from University City. We had special education teachers, a full special education department. Not one of them got a check from school district of University City. They all got their check from the special education department. So we have a separation. The thing that you want to remember is, yes, you can send it to the directors, but you can also send it to those SPED teachers, because those directors most times are not right there in the building with them. They are over the bigger thing. So a lot of times, if teachers can see what support they can get, they can go to that SPED director and say,
Yeah.
hey, what about this training?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, remember, those SPED teachers have to work with those gen ed teachers. How
Yes.
can you support both in the building and let it come out of the building budget and not necessarily have to go through the SPED budget? So all I'm saying is that there are this answer is layered depending on where you're at, but it does not hurt to send it to the director, the curriculum and instruction person, because they
Hmm.
also have the onus of providing support for all students and all teachers, regardless as to whether they are SPED or general ed. But then also thinking about SPED teachers in the classroom, they have to have TAs,
Hmm.
your teaching assistant, they need training. Those
Paris.
TAs go into the regular classroom with the regular teacher. Nobody trained that regular teacher on how to work with that TA or what she should be doing with that TA. That TA just show up in that classroom, sit beside that kid or in the back of that room looking crazy. And it's a whole bunch of things they can be doing. So it's a whole lot of areas that you can provide support on. General ed teachers are not trained on how to collect data on these students that
Hmm.
have IEPs, a whole bunch of ways. So now, Sharonda, you can answer the question now.
I think that goes back to us saying use the directory. The directory has everybody listed, what their job title is, a phone number, and an email. That's on Ferg Floor site. So I think you can backdoor in, like, even start there. Maybe the coordinator, the SSD coordinator that is on our site, you can shoot her an email, let her know what you have to offer, and tell her to, like, go ahead and, like, give me a call so we can have the personal conversation to build the relationship, and then she can introduce it. She could be your back door. So you just got to get real strategic with using what you have to get what you need. I think it'll work. I think you definitely can talk to the coordinators, even though they're SSD based in third floor. Get it to them, let them know how you could better help their students on the SSD side, and she could present it to the SSD side as well as the first floor side. It just depends on her influence. But if she's coordinating, she probably has great influence. And
Okay.
even if you don't see those people on the website, you can call the office, and when I answer, hey, Cross Keys Middle School, Miss Tilson speaking. Hey, Miss Tilson, can you give me the name of your SSD specialist in the building? There it is. All right, and email, name and name, phone number, email, whatever it is you need. And that's the end of that call. You know what I'm saying? Then you go ahead and do your reaching on that end. So it don't always have to go directly through us in the office. You can backdoor because again, you got to use what you got to get what you need.
All right. And Letitia, I think Letitia shares a really amazing point that a lot of us skip out on. So Letitia says that she says, this is good. I'll be, turn it off. She says, this is good. I'll be inviting the superintendent and other cabinet members have been formally invited informally and have agreed a new legacy initiative I'm presenting, which is really a pitch once I retire and return as a consultant. It's a lot of people who leave a district and don't even realize you can go back as a consultant.
Yeah,
But if you don't tell them, like most people think you retiring, girl, you tired. You ready to go
that's
sit
it.
down somewhere. And so they don't even propose to you a lot of times, but how about you pitch it to them? So I think that's amazing that Letitia is doing that. And I think that when you let them know, I did a lot of amazing things here in the school system, got some good systems set up. The person who's coming in to fill my role, I will be more than happy to train them. I have
Okay.
transitioned over into a consulting business, and I'd be more than happy to come back and
Yep.
train them.
Yep. We have a lot of that going on in third floor right now. Our whole superintendent office has been, it's all new. I don't even know what happened. But when I say that the people that left are coming back consulting with their old position, and it's crazy because most of them went over to SSD, but we don't know what really happened. We just know it's all new people, and they do hire you back because they know what you did for 20 years. So why would I go get a new person who I'm not even sure of, knowing, someone that just left here? Yeah, come back in 6 months. We need you. So, yeah, that's a good pitch, too.
Okay. So for all those people, and even if you don't retire, even if you're just leaving the district, when I got ready to
Mhm.
leave my district, they were begging me to consult. No, I will not. I was done. I was like, no, I got to move away from this. But they are willing, and they will pay you to consult. Yes.
Mhm.
So any other questions? Pansy says, got it. ESL teachers are not trained to teach math either. I actually just had this conversation with my best friend. She's an ESL teacher, and we were laughing because she is a middle school teacher, and one of her Hispanic students is failing math, and she said that she feels like she is back in class, so she's doing homework trying to figure out how to help him do his homework because she ain't had to do math in a long time. Math is normally one of those subjects that the ESL students can navigate through, but this student is really struggling, and so I am here to tell you, they are not trained in mathematics. She is typically an English social studies person, and her student is failing in mathematics. And baby, she is spending 2 and 3 hours in the evening trying to go through the problems that were given because she does push in with him in the math
Okay.
classroom because he needs that additional support. And so when they give the homework assignment, she has to go home and do the homework so that the next day in class she can help him and figure out how she's going to relay the information to him because he has a language barrier, what picture she needs to present. She can't do that if she don't know how to do the problem. So that is a very good point, Pansy. And so when you make that point to them, see, like a lot of times we go straight to what we offer and not what the benefit is or what the
Mhm.
school or the students will receive. It's not
Right.
about the offer. We don't care about the name of your offer. We don't care about your name. We don't care about the name of your company. Bet now nobody on here calling nobody talking about what the name of their company is. The only time we care about what the name of the company is when they putting it on their check. If it ain't going on a check, we don't care. You half of y'all, 90% of y'all don't even know what the name of my consulting company is. Because the only time it matters is when it's going on that check. I need you to make sure you got them letters right. So when it deposited into that checking account, that the bank don't call me with no problems because of the name of the check. Other than that, all you know is Dr. D. All you know is she do leadership coaching. You don't. So we got to stop with making sure that we got the name of our business on top of everything, and stop doing that. We don't care about your name. We don't care about titles. I'm gonna tell y'all this. A lot of times in school systems, and when I'm out, because a lot of our work does not happen, a lot of our contracts don't always happen in the school system. They happen through networking. They
Yeah.
happen through networking. Ain't nobody out calling me Dr. D, y'all. They call me Chanel. And I call them Sharonda. I call them Jonay. I call them Letitia. I don't call it's this. We have to get out of our head this belief that the more formal we are, the more professional it makes us. I'm gonna be very honest with you all. That's a black thing.
It is. It is.
Y'all, I'm just telling y'all the truth. I want you to win. I'm telling you the truth. That's a black thing. This demand for respect. You gonna call me by my title. You gonna refer to me as Dr. So and so, and letting everybody know how many years you've been in the school system. That don't work in this work. Like that don't work in this work. I've been a teacher for 30 years, right? And now your time is up and go on about your business. That's not what you should be saying.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest with y'all. Like when you get into these conversations, I don't want us to revert back to what was valued in the school system. In the school system, we value degrees and longevity.
Hmm.
But when you get on the other side of this as a consultant, they value results. The
That's it.
school system values results. I was able to help so and so school get their fourth grade class a 30% increase on the MAP test.
Yep.
They ain't gonna say, how many years was you teaching? Girl, how many degrees you got? They gonna say you was able to do what? All right, let's talk about how you was able to do this. And you tell them I can do it for you too. It's a repeatable strategy. I've done it in 4 districts, and it's really easy. I help with the full implementation of it. Notice I ain't said not one time what my package is, how many PDs they got to go through. We got to start selling the vacation and not the plane ride. Ain't nobody trying to get
All
over to the
right.
Maldives when they find out it takes 16 hours. This girl
That,
sent me a thing for the Maldives, and when I found out it was 16 hours, I was like, "Oh, you gotta fly 16 hours? I ain't going to do that. Who want to do that?" But then when you see them bungalows over that water,
yes.
and you be like, "Oh, that's pretty, that's pretty."
I'm
But when
willing.
you heard that it was 16 hours, it was like a 16-hour flight. You got to do a layover, and so all together you're gonna be 24 hours trying to get there. I'm gonna put that on the list for next year. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing. We're trying to sell the plane ride, to talk about how many PDs you can do, how many trainings, how many people are involved. We're not doing that, y'all. Okay. So the next question is, okay, she says, Linda says, I'm bringing a soft skills etiquette curriculum to align with the existing curriculum. What suggestions do you have for me to get to the decision makers?
Straightforward. The decision maker is who you need to go after first. Whomever is making that decision about what you have, yeah. Get to them first. Get to them email, get to them phone. The best thing is direct. Like your spiel won't matter unless you said something that caught that decision maker's ear. So you got to
I
be as
agree.
direct as
And I'll
possible.
say this, like a lot of times we get so caught up with words, and I know this is going long, y'all. We got to wrap this up. But get your questions in the chat real quick. Don't say we didn't try to help you. I'm gonna say that we have to think about words. Now let's be honest. In a school system, they're worried about academics. They're worried
Yes.
about their test scores. They are
Result.
worried about accreditation. They're worried about student behavior. And so when you hear the word soft skills and etiquette, they throwing that to the back burner because we got all these other things. So your goal is to talk about how you can impact what they're already doing. I wouldn't even start with the word soft skills or etiquette. I would pose like what it is that I'm going to do. Like, why is it that they need this training? Why is it? That's what you should be selling. The why, not the what. The what is soft skills and etiquette. Go with the why. And so
That's
if you
good.
think about why do they need to have these soft skills, like especially at like a high school, you can talk to you can say and this would probably also come out of the counseling department as well, because they do career readiness in counseling. And so when you're talking to or sending an email to the counselors, pose a question. Are your students, going on job interviews and being rejected? They
Yeah.
know whether or not their students are coming in looking for jobs, looking for money, or are they filling out college applications and they're not getting accepted. It
Yeah.
may be because they're not presenting themselves in a manner that is conducive to what it is that they want to do. So I'm
Hmm.
saying, think about what it is that the why and not the what, because sometimes when you hear a certain word, any of y'all who are doing like diversity DEI, that ain't in no more. That does not mean that the work is not needed. Please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. That does not mean that the work is not needed. A lot of times when phrases are no longer favorable, you need to change the words. Like when we talk about woke, back in a few years ago, it was good to be woke. Woke was good. Now woke is bad. So you can't even use that word anymore. When we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, during the George Floyd time in 2020, it was big. Now you see everybody shutting down their DEI division. So why would you go in somewhere talking about I'm a DEI specialist? That means you don't want to work. You need to say something like, I'm a transformational specialist. I'm a culture specialist, something
Okay.
like that. So I'm just saying, be aware of what is trending and what is not. You still gonna do
Mhm.
the same work. You still doing the same work. You just using it as you're using a different terminology. She said the results will be to get the babies behaving and saying please and thank you. And now you got to ask yourself, like, would a principal pay for that? It's doing more than this. Like, I know that what soft skills and etiquette, the why behind it is greater than what you're saying here. It's doing more than just getting them to say please and thank you. And
Right.
etiquette definitely ain't gonna make them behave. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So you got to come up with your why. Why and right now, where is Linda? Linda, right now, I want you to pick your phone up and I want you to put in Chat GPT. Why are soft skills and etiquette needed in today's public school system? And let it tell you some reasons why. Do that right now. I challenge you to do that right now and see what Chat GPT says. Carlicia Springs says classroom management to foster a growth mindset. They giving you information right here. Okay, yes, demonstrate proficiency in reading, because Carlicia is a reading specialist, demonstrating proficiency in reading. Okay, so Linda says, I hear you. I've already added the counseling department to my list, and me and chat are already chatting. That's right. Okay.
That's right.
All right, y'all. So, for those who don't know, and for those who have not done so, get your ticket to Iman Live. This is the type of stuff that we bring to you at Iman Live. Let me tell you, one of the things that is so that we always miss the ball on. We know that we what we need, or sometimes we don't know what we need. But then when it's presented in front of us, we make excuses for why we shouldn't follow through. You need to get that ticket to Iman Live. It's life changing. Every time
Yeah.
we have a person close a contract, right there in Iman Live, right at the event, because you're going to be in the room with other people who are doing exactly what it is you're trying to do, who are already in the space, and those who are at the same level you are at. We had people who already had somebody who they was talking to about a contract, but they just didn't know how to close it out. If I'm not mistaken, Sharonda, you gave somebody some information
Mm-hmm.
last year. How
Yeah.
did that? What happened with that? I mean, like, how did
Um,
that transpire?
like she ended up using some of the information given, and you're right, it did help her close because she couldn't figure out how to get in. I think that was the big thing. But once she got in, she was in. So yeah, getting in the room is very important. Like if you're in the room, somebody in that room has something that you need. And it all goes back to relationship building because you never know who you're going to meet. I actually went for fun and I got so much information. It motivated me in a lot of ways. So getting in the room is important, and you will definitely build a relationship with somebody, whether they're on your level or not. Because we found out like what we brought in Q&A, it was bakers in the room, meaning they bake cookies and cakes. It was superintendent in the room. Like it was so many different levels of people. We had a t-shirt. What he did like t-shirts. What's that called? He sells them in bulk and stuff like that. A printing company. So
Yes.
everybody was from a different walk, but we had the makeup artist in the room. She grew her business. It's not about you having the same thing. It's you bringing what you have, and those same techniques work for you. So it does not really even matter if you're just in education. If you have an idea that you want to get off the ground, getting in the room is where you need to be. Oh, and while Chanel was talking, this was funny to me. I heard in my spirit, she was like, "We don't want to hear about how many degrees you have because you're just as equal to a thermometer. A thermometer has degrees. So we don't want to come off as educated fools like, and I have a degree in this, and I have that's all good, and we appreciate you going and getting that. But yeah, it's not important when you're talking to regulars. You know what I'm saying? We're like, okay, so, but mine may not be what yours is, but I'm just saying that was my funny when Chanel was talking.
So people, I want us to really, like, we got to stop playing with our skills, playing with our talents. I was talking to someone last night, and she was talking about how she had never made money on her own before. And when she closed that, like, it's a different idea to sit here and think I can make money. Now, she didn't close a big contract, but she made $3,000, baby.
Sitting there.
And don't you know, when she made that $3,000, she had to go on and send me that message because to her, that was groundbreaking. And we're not gonna sit here and act like $3,000 ain't a lot of money.
Cause
Like,
I was thinking,
for some of us, that's a whole check. For some of us, that's two checks. So we can stop playing like $3,000 ain't a lot of money.
yeah,
But she was so elated because she never believed that she could get paid for the same thing she's doing in the classroom.
yeah,
She did 4 sessions and got paid $3,000. Now, mind you, she underbidded herself. Mind you, she should have got more than $3,000, but we can't
mhm,
focus on that right now. She
right,
got the three. She learned her lesson, and she understands now. Next time, that should have been $7,500 at least.
exactly.
And she could have got the 7,500. She didn't ask for 7,500. She asked for 3,000. They said send the PO. She sent the PO. She did her little session. She got her money. Baby, when that money hit that account, she was celebrating and dancing and happy as can be. These are the
Hmm.
types of things that you can do with your own life. At Iman Live, like Sharonda talked to the girl, and she was already in talks with somebody. She followed up because Iman Live was Thursday, Friday, Saturday of last year. And so she followed up in email, had the call the next day during the event, actually doing Iman Live. She closed that deal and got her contract. We know that what's her name? Maggie. You know Maggie in the white
Maggie.
bikini. Baby Maggie got 6 kids, and when I say her body is banging, her body is banging. Do you hear me? I
Yeah.
am not even playing. If my body looked like that, I would probably be on OnlyFans as my other source of income. I'm just saying. She had 6 kids come out of her body, and baby, when I say it's banging, it's banging. I would be on OnlyFans. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm joking, y'all. But anyway, she was in her Uber on her way to the beach. She was on vacation and closed a $25,000 contract. They told her, we need you to send this to us right now because we have trained you in the systems that you need, because we have trained you to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Because
Mhm.
we are professionals and we present ourselves as professionals, right there in the back of that Uber on her cell phone, she was able to send that contract and send that invoice over. And by the time she made it to that destination, that invoice was signed and half of that payment was already was being processed over there at central office. Before she came back from that vacation, Maggie had half of her money already in the bank. I don't know about y'all, but the last time I checked, half of 25 was 12.5. $12,500 for some work that you ain't done yet. And then when you get through doing it, you get 12,000 more. Think about how many years, how many months it take y'all to make
Mhm.
$25,000 in the school system,
Yep.
working what you doing now. And you telling me you ain't got time during the summer to come to St. Louis so we can give you all the real tea? Because some stuff I ain't gonna say online. Like, I'm just
Right.
not gonna do it. Like, you ain't finna get me recorded and get me caught up. You better come on into the live room, because that's where it happens. That's where you get to feel the energy. That's where you get to meet people. That's where you get to build relationships. You find partners who you can work with, who you can
Yes.
partner with. I'm telling you, we got to stop playing ourselves and saying stuff like, well, I need for one to be in Atlanta. I need one to be in North
Mm-mm.
Carolina. Girl, ain't nobody coming to you. You got to get up and go to where it is. I need us to stop thinking that. You got to get up and go to where it is. We're in 2024 and things have changed. Flights are $200-$300. Hop you a flight. I got y'all a great rate at Ritz Carlton, $239 a night. If you don't think that you're worth it, who do you think is supposed to think is worth it? All I'm telling you, baby, you can 2x, 3x your income, and it don't take as much time as you think. Things can happen overnight. Y'all see examples of this every day. That girl, Risa Tisa, decided to tell her story. Within a week, that girl had changed her whole life just by being willing to get out of her comfort zone and do something different. Y'all didn't know a Risa Tisa before now. Y'all didn't know a Risa
Mind you,
Tisa.
she looked real stupid doing it, but it's
Exactly.
beneficial now.
Yeah, but see, we scared of other people judging us. We're
Judgment.
scared of what other people gonna think. Guess what? I think I'm laughing all the way to the bank.
All
I
the
think
way.
I'm enjoying my vacations. I think I'm enjoying being in control of my day. You worried about what somebody's gonna say about you, girl? If you don't click that button and get that ticket,
It's
you still
definitely
got
worth it.
60, 70 days to figure out your hotel. They're not going to charge your hotel when you reserve the room. They're not going to charge it. That's right. 239, and those rooms are normally $600-$700 a night because you're staying at the Ritz Carlton.
The
Because I
rich.
want you to see that you deserve it. So we're getting you rooms for 239 a night, and then don't mess around and have a partner that you can split the room costs with. See, that's
Right.
where having relationships go. Two
Right there.
people coming, you can take that 239, split it down the middle, get two beds in the room. You're not gonna be in the room a lot anyway. Some of
Nope.
us scared to have a roommate in the room. This ain't like when you stayed at home living with your mama. Them that ain't this. You gonna get up, you gonna take a shower, you gonna get dressed, and you going out to breakfast. We got your day planned out for you. We got recommended activities. Baby, we gonna have a sneaker ball. Sharonda, what you wearing to the sneaker ball? Yeah, what y'all wearing to the sneaker
I
ball?
got my stuff.
She don't want to say what she wearing.
I got my stuff.
What y'all wearing to the sneaker ball, y'all? Come on now. Our mixers are always an amazing time.
They really are.
Last year, did we do rooftop last year?
Yes.
So we did rooftop. It was, look here, we had a great time. Okay. Oh yeah, that was last year when we had karaoke and
Yeah.
the Fields got out and did they sung and danced for
Yeah.
us. And they was doing the Tamia slide. They had the Tamia
Yeah.
slide going. Y'all know that Tamia slide is way too complicated, and y'all need to do a less experienced slide, okay? But what I loved about it was they were showing everybody how to do it. They wasn't just out there being fancy all by themselves. We have a DJ, MC, all of the things. And you know what? We not stuffy and stuck up. This ain't
No.
like you going to a teacher conference or to a school presentation. We are actually there to help you, to support you, to give you the information. Like, you can actually talk to the speakers. You can actually talk to the speakers. We put you at tables with them.
Mhm.
Like, it's not just a let me take a picture with you. No, if you just want If I don't like them type of speakers who think that they are above us. No, all of us are human. We all bleed blood. Let's talk to the people and tell them what it is they need. Now, it's your problem if you get in the room and you don't ask the questions that you need. It
Exactly.
always seems to amaze me how I'll be sitting beside other educators who want to start a consulting business. They'll say, hi, how you doing? And won't ask the question. Baby, put me beside somebody who doing more, got the answer that I need. I'm going to say, oh, do you mind if I ask you a question? Now, I'm not trying to pick your brain or get your service for free. I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, and we are having a conversation. A part of the conversation, I'm going to ask a strategic question. Can you tell me one thing that you did that you would advise somebody else not to do? I'm not asking you to give me like the thing that you're selling. You can't go in asking somebody to give you the thing that you're selling, but they will give you other advice. So I just want us all to be able to um, think about what we need to do July 12th through the 14th, Iman Live. Other than that, I hope that this session has been helpful for you. Who is this? This is she said, I got my dress already. She said, I'm ready. I have my dress. I'm telling y'all, get them old them bridesmaid dresses. I'll buy you a dress, girl. Get on Sheen, however you pronounce it. They got some good stuff. You ain't got to spend no hundreds of thousands of dollars. You should know how to make stuff look good. She said, I'm coming. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to afford it, but I'm coming. It's worth the investment. Girl, I even got you
Definitely.
a payment plan on there. I'm giving you a payment plan for the tickets. 4 payments of $99. You can pay in full, $397, or do $499 payments. Now you that means we're not going to get our nails done this week. That means
That's
we canceling a hair appointment.
because it definitely costs $100 to get your nails and feet done. I don't know where they done got these new prices from.
Right.
I need I need the baby chinks to come out.
Oh, who is this? She say, she say, I have to change my name on here. This Latasha. Yes, girl, get that dress ready. And this is the time that you can show out. You can be too much. It's absolutely a-okay to be too much. We gonna love it. This is the time for you to do all like whatever was your in your imagination. Girl, bring it. We gonna celebrate it. If you want to wear the big ball gown, girl, look here. We gonna take pictures with you. We gonna love it. This is the look at her. She said, "Oh, you got a ball gown?
I
Oh,
got
don't
them all.
they'll come in there trying to show me up. Don't y'all hate when people try to show up the host? I want y'all to try to show me up. Come on, bring it, y'all.
Um,
Bring it, y'all.
look, but it's all
And
in
I'm letting y'all
fun.
wear tennis shoes so we ain't got to have hurting feet. Now I am gonna recommend that you have your heels with you to put your
For the
to
picture.
take your picture and then take the heel off, put that sneaker back on. We still gonna take pictures with the sneakers, but we gotta always be thinking about marketing. Oh my God, I'm gonna show y'all some marketing moves. Real time marketing, baby. Real time marketing. I'm gonna show y'all. Helena said, and that's my birthday weekend. Girl, come on to St. Louis. Let's
Um,
celebrate your birthday at the Ritz Carlton. They have, I don't know if y'all been to the Ritz. I was quite impressed by the Ritz. And
yeah.
you know how you think Ritz and you think so uppity. I was like really shocked to see that they have like a cigar bar for those people who smoke cigars. And I think they do a little extra stuff back there in that cigar bar too. I'm just saying. They have a jazz band that plays
Oh,
every Friday night. They have a bar that is so much fun. They have like this nighttime because it's all business people who are there. Contracts are made. This where money is made, people. I'm putting you in the setting where money is made. And so they have like this nighttime party on Friday and Saturday night. They have the live band. It's like a party up in there. And I didn't know that you can get a membership to the Ritz Carlton,
yeah.
not to stay in the hotel, but to go there and to use their
Have fun.
amenities. Yeah, I didn't know that. So Helena said she wants the VIP package. The VIP package has payment arrangement too. 199. I think it's 3 or 4 payments. So get the VIP package. But what we got to do, we got to get those rooms reserved because the reservations, our rate ends on June 3rd. It's already May 11th. And I'm telling you, when you charge the card, they don't run the card for the 239 a night. They're
It's just
just
a
using the
whole.
card. Right. It's just a hold. So make
Mhm.
sure that you are use the payment plan. Like click the link, get into it. The VIP is going to be awesome because you're going to get to have dinner with me and the speakers. Like, who does that? And it's only 15 VIP tickets. So there are only, because I got to reserve our dinner spot. So it's only 15 VIP tickets. You're going to get to talk to people and have conversations and really dig into it. Sharonda will be there again, very veteran secretary. It's a bunch of folks who gonna be there. Some people are coming just to interact with you all, and then other people. There will be speakers there, like Camilla May. She's a financial wealth coach. She's coming. She's not speaking. She's coming to come to the dinner for the VIP, so that y'all can talk to her about how to build your wealth,
Yeah.
how to do your retirement, and things like that. She said, I missed the information. Has the email been sent? Yes, Latasha, did you do your Latasha, I'm gonna send you an email because I don't know if you did your email list. Like I gave you that code, you have to put it in order for it to trigger that email. But there's another email coming out this weekend anyway, and we have a Facebook group as well. So I definitely recommend that y'all get into the Facebook group too, because we'll go in doing live updates there. So you'll get updates through email as well as in the Facebook group. As a matter of fact, after I get off this call, I'll be doing an update in the Facebook group about Iman Live. And the email is already scheduled to come out for tomorrow. Just updating on where we are, what's going on, what you should be thinking about, and all those types of things. But we got to get into the habit of getting into the room to get great information like this. Because Sharonda was so gracious. She done gave us almost 2 hours of time, y'all. Did it feel
For
like two
real.
hours?
It didn't. Well, I had the 22-minute delay with this whole new. I'm like, where'd she get restreamed from? I never even heard of that.
So
But I wasn't gonna
and
let it
so
beat me.
resources like this. So like I'm streaming live on Facebook. I'm also streaming live on YouTube. I could have streamed live on Instagram, but when there's two people on the screen, it messes up the view of it.
Yeah.
So it's knowing little stuff like this. Uh if Pansy, if you bought a ticket, you should have gotten an immediate email. So it should come immediately. I'm gonna have to check my triggers to see, because if you've already purchased your ticket, it should have come immediately right after that. I have two triggers on there where it's in. So I will definitely thank you, Pansy. I will definitely check my triggers to make sure that it is firing and that nothing has messed up the system, because you should have received an immediate email, and then an email went out probably 3 weeks ago. So I will definitely check those triggers as soon as I get off this call. Thank you for saying that. So y'all purchase your tickets, reserve your rooms. Once you purchase the ticket, I'm gonna make sure that trigger is working so that you get that immediate email. It gives you the reservation link to the Ritz Carlton. It gives you information about the sneaker ball, about the Bridgerton Tea Party, because baby, we having us a Bridgerton Tea Party. The next season starts in a couple of days on the 16th, I believe it is. I'm gonna watch the whole series. I ain't got time to be piecemeal in one episode and then wait a week for another episode. I gotta watch it all at one time. I ain't got time to play with Shonda Rhimes now. And we're gonna have ourselves a Bridgerton Tea Party. We're gonna focus one day on building your business. One day is going to be about telling your business, telling the story around your business. And then the third day is going to be about selling, which is about marketing. Baby, when I say this marketing is hands-on, interactive, you're going to leave with real stuff. We are not those people who just get up on the stage and just tell you an inspirational story. That ain't what we do. You get real stuff, real information, real strategies, and we want you to implement immediately. But we also want to have fun. Look here, you should have fun in everything that you do. We want you to
Absolutely.
meet people. We want you to network. We want you to eat good. All of that is covered. All of that is covered. All you got to do is show up with a willing spirit and willing to step outside of your comfort zone. But the hardest part is showing up. People will make excuses. I can't afford it. You afford everything else that you need and want. You get that hair done, you get them nails done, you get them pedicures, you go out to eat when you want to. We got to sacrifice. That's what we got to do. You pull that credit card out for everything else, pull it out for this. You pull that credit card out for everything else. If your kid came in today and said they needed some so and so for an activity that they're doing, you're going to figure it out. We got to stop putting everybody above us. Figure the same thing out for yourself that you would figure out for your kid. Some of us, our kids, I'm speaking about myself, some of us, our kids showed up a week before prom, talking about, I changed my mind, I want to go to prom. And you made it happen. Some of them said 2 weeks ahead of time, I want to go to prom, I want to go to homecoming. And you made it happen. Make it happen for yourself the same way you do it for them. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Sharonda, for sharing your time and all of these amazing tips. Give
Gladly.
us a closing word. Give us a closing word.
Well, I would honestly say, and it's not a marketing piece. If you want to be better, do better, get in that room. It's life changing. The relationships you'll build, you can't build them at Starbucks. You can't build them at the nail shop. I'm just saying, invest in yourself, and the rest is, look, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun too while you on the beach making money. So get in the room, y'all. I'll be in the room with my ball gown on.
All right. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. It's still the month of me. I ain't forgot about y'all. We'll be back. I might even come live tomorrow and do a live for y'all tomorrow. I'll send an email out to let y'all know. But I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good rest of your
Bye,
evening.
y'all.